Hello, I would like to inform you that what you're about to listen to are the views and comments from the host and guests and only reflect their own views and not the community as a whole. I hope you enjoy the podcast, and Eddie, play that banter section.
Well, you know something. So today, while I've been, I was downstairs earlier on this morning, and Brandon popped downstairs to turn on the PlayStation 5 because he's playing the PlayStation 5 on his on Florence's Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Not actually on the PlayStation. He could sit in the front room playing on PlayStation 5, but so he can lay in bed playing on his Steam Deck. He's actually playing Steam Deck. I think there must be some sort of remote app for it or something.
No, I will say, look, I will use my Steam Deck for what its main purpose is, to play games. And I have been. It's just that recently I've had lots of photos that I would like to finish and edit and finish, and not let it build up as a backlog. Because I'm one of these photographers who actually want to get photos back to people. Crazy thinking that is.
Wait, you're trying to tell me that not having a backlog doesn't make you a good photographer?
Wow. I mean, that's my opinion. I don't know about the rest of you guys.
Okay, so I am working through my backlog. And I've actually...
Hello everybody, this is the Ed Talks About podcast, a weekly podcast talking about cosplay, Comic-Con, and everything else. I'm your host Eddie, and this week we are talking about, is there too many Comic-Cons right now? Joining us on the podcast is Libra of Libra... I would say Libra Art, but that's not right.
No, it's Libra Cosplay.
Why did I think it was art? Oh my goodness.
I don't draw.
I know. I'm not even looking at my screen. It does say Libra Lee as well. I think because 7 popped to my head and it just went, anyway, I'm going to play tricks on you. Right, fine, fair. Yes, we've got Libra from Libra Lee and we've got Kev from Kev Pack, photography. Yes,
that's good. I am.
Yes. Wow, God.
Imagine.
Oh, don't imagine all the people.
Imagine being able to do a podcast.
I know, that'd be really embarrassing. That's someone like me doing a podcast. Fucking hell. Woo! Oh, let's not go down that road. Jeez. Anyway, yes, we're going to be talking about like the number of cons that seem to like popped up like in the last, since pandemic, I would have said. I could be wrong. But I just think I just want to talk about the number of Comic-Cons that just seem to have sprung out, and just how do people manage to go to all of them? Or not, in some cases. But before we do that, I always do a welfare check. I'll start with Libra. So, Libra, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Yes.
I'm enjoying my Easter egg.
Yeah, where's our Easter egg?
Here.
It's called Tesco.
Other brands are available. Not that I'm the BBC or anything like that, or trying to be impartial. Hang on, what? I'm not even being sponsored. Fucking out. Anyway, but yeah, I hear you have a gripe with me.
Yeah, I've not had the pleasure of doing one of those. Hi, I'm Eddie from Food and Cosplay, and then it's the cosplay.
I mean, like it has been like people have hijacked it, so it's not like it's planned per se. But also, when's the last time I saw you?
October, I think, or May.
See, you don't even know.
I want to say October.
Did we do a shoot in October?
No.
Did we do a shoot in May?
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
No. That was a planned one.
Oh no, I think you were meant to be on the calendar. I think you were on the calendar. But then you had to duck out, so...
Yeah, because my own cosplay just fell apart.
Yes, we were just talking about it in the green room. Yes, yeah. But anyway, but yes, you're generally okay. We're recording on Easter Sunday, so that's why you could hear chocolates. Well, I say you can hear one person's got chocolate. I'm sat here in front of my Pret coffee, a bottle of water. Some crisps. Interesting. What else is around me? I do have Kit Kat.
I also do have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on at the moment as well.
Wait, you're playing and recording a podcast at the same time?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Hey, I've got to finish the story.
It's the same story, isn't it?
They fleshed it out.
Oh my goodness, mate. Anyway, but nice to know you're doing all right. Yeah, and I've got
Just
your full
because you don't
concentration.
have it and you're jealous.
Yeah, someone said they're going to buy it for me.
Well, I need your Steam account, then, don't I? To send it to you, don't I?
It's actually genuinely it's that Asian photographer. Oh no, that Asian gamer. Come find me. I generally am. That it's there may be a 3 in there in the game a bit. So yeah.
So basic.
I don't know what I've done by saying that out loud, but yeah, I feel that I've opened up a honey trap there. But anyway, Kev, how are you? How's the last 7 days for you?
Yeah, okay. I'm just going over a chest infection, but I should hopefully be able to just struggle through this podcast today. Hopefully.
What do you mean by struggle? You make it sound like it's such a chore.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, it's just talking. I'll keep having to mute the mic and just cough a little bit. And then,
oh yeah. Oh, I've been coughing as well. Yeah.
So you might hear me just clear my throat a bit a few times, but I do apologise.
No, it's all right. It's all right. But I tell you, there is something going around because, geez, when I got ill earlier this month, this will probably come out in April, so early in March. Oh, geez, it really hit me for 6. Just honestly, I remember having a headache. I was tired. I did think, oh shit, this better not be COVID again. But I got over it of the main symptoms over like 3 days. Hey, was I talking to you, Libra, about? No, it was someone else. It was Honeybee. She was going to a concert, and she said, "Oh, I'm ill as well." And I said, "If it helps, I go over it in 3 days." And she says, "Will I be all right for my concert then?" And I don't know. So I need to get back, get in touch with her and actually check she actually went to that concert or not. But yeah, Kev, if Kev all of them.
Fine.
Yeah, if Kevin stops talking, we know now why. Okay.
Yeah, well, if I just do that and clear my throat.
Yeah,
it's just one of these things. It just means just dragging on. It just won't go away.
Oh God, I know it really does. Really does. Yeah. Anyway, before we start the podcast, Libra, where are you up to in the storyline? So with that, we can keep a progression going.
I have just come out of Costa del Sol, so I'm on the way to Mount Coral.
Cool.
This will mean nothing to Eddie at all.
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely over my head.
In other words, we're on our way to the City of Ancients. That's
cool.
the way to put it. That's without spoiling too much.
Cool. Great story, bro. Yeah. Cool.
This shows my age, though, but it was Final Fantasy VII, which made me buy the first PlayStation. I bought it specifically so I could play Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
When it first came out.
See, for me, I only had a PC, so I tried to. I think I bought either hooky copies of it from Hong Kong, and you could do that in Hong Kong back in the day. Or I don't know if I tried to emulate it or something like that. I couldn't remember, but I got so frustrated with the turn-based battle system. It just really fucked me off. And that's it. Yeah, that's also. Yeah, I didn't have a really good computer, so even playing on the PC, I think it was. Even though it was a hooky copy, it played alright, but it just moved so janky on with the graphic settings I had. So yeah, I couldn't get through it anyway. But no, I'm happy that people are enjoying Final Fantasy Hang on, wait a minute. What's the difference between Final Fantasy VII Part 1, Part 2 and Final Fantasy Rebirth? Or is that the one same game?
So, Remake was the start to where they leave Midgar, and Rebirth is everything from them leaving Midgar to the City of Ancients.
So it's all part of the same thing?
Yeah, it's all part of the same
so it's all the same story? Right, okay.
Yeah, they've just... What it is, it's where they added stuff that they couldn't add in the original.
Joy, yeah. This feels like rewatching Evangelion, but they did Rebirth and went, everything you knew about that, you can just park that to one side. This is just a new thing, but it's not a new thing, but it is a new thing, but it isn't, but it is, but it isn't. You know these characters, but you don't know that character. Not important, but is important. It's like, what? I still enjoyed it. Anyway, so main topic. Here we go. Right. So I have noticed over the last 12 months, 18 months, maybe, like the number of Comic Cons about, it's just exploded over the years. I swear, when I started going to Comic Con about 20 years ago, yeah, I'm showing my age here now, I felt that there was only like one or two events, like big events. I'm excluding the small events for a short period, and I only knew like one or two events, and that was MCM, the old MCM Expo, and Showmasters. They're the only two I really knew and went to. But nowadays, there's loads of them, and like I'll give you like. So I'm going to bring this up now. So let's start with MCM. So we know that MCM's one of the biggest organisers in the country. They do two batches. Sounds like they're making like cakes or something. But two events in London, one in May, one October, and they do Birmingham one.
Yeah, but they've actually, don't forget though, MCM is doing less events than it used to be when it was old MCM.
I was going to say, because I don't know, I remember they used to do two of each of London and Birmingham in the old guys, definitely before pandemic.
And they also did Glasgow as well.
They did Glasgow.
And
Manchester, yeah. Oh,
and they did
I'm getting there
as well.
Oh, that one I didn't know about. Oh, no, that does make sense, yes. So that's current. So that's both current and previously. Well, we might as well talk about the previous, because obviously, as most people know, I think, MegaCon Live is owned by the old runners of MCM before they sold it to Repop. And I think they've kind of like picked up where MCM have left off or just discarded. So now they're doing Manchester, the other Birmingham date, Dublin, and now they're allowed to do a London event now in the big. I think they're bringing it back next year. Yes, they have. I have seen news about that. But yes, they're bringing it back. I think just the second or third week in 2025. Let's see if I can find out dates. Can I find out dates? No, it's not in here. But yeah, I found that everyone knows about my opinions about it. If you don't, go listen to the MegaCon Live London Good Band The Ugly review podcast. So that's MegaCon Live. Did I mention Dublin? Yes, I did. No, yes?
Yes.
Yes, good, thank you. The other one I would probably say is Showmasters, and they've got, like, I swear, 3 iterations of the London Film Comic Con, one in spring, winter, summer.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Film and Comic Con Cardiff, Film Comic Con Glasgow. They got Collectomania, Milton Keynes. What else? They got else. I've got their website up. That's what I'm just kind of scanned through very quickly. Wales Comic Con have got 2 events now. I think they used to do 2 in Wrexham, but now I think they've split them up a little bit. So there's one in Wales, Wrexham, and then one in Telford, which is not in Wales, but it's still called Wales Comic Con Telford Takeover, which I've had many arguments with myself. So why can't they just call it Wales Comic Con presents Telford Comic Con, or just call it Telford Comic Con? I just don't understand. Anyway, enough about that. We've got other events that I've not been to for certain reasons. Hopefully won't really go into it too much, but like there's one called Monopoly Events, and they've got, I'm not going to go for all of them, but they've got at least 9 Comic Con insert city here, like Liverpool, Northern Ireland, Scotland. You know, they've got places everywhere in the country, except for London, which that might change soon, I think, based on... Does everyone know that the exclusivity that MCM has over London XL is now over? I don't know if that's really true or not.
I think it might be, actually.
I don't know, because if you think about it, what MCM had before wasn't specifically a Comic-Con exclusivity. It was particularly their event, because don't forget, London Super Comic-Con used to run at XL at the same time as MCM.
True, very true. Yeah.
So I don't think it was necessarily quite as exclusive as you might have thought it was.
No, that's fine. No, I totally agree. But yes, Monopoly Events, there's like I said, 9 of them there. We talk about Wales Comic Con. I've got tabs open, so I'm still going through them. We've got new ones that come around, which are very specific types, such as like you've got Anime Con. They've recently done a London one, and they're going back to Birmingham again. So they're going to host two events in a year. And then you got like, I wouldn't necessarily Comic Cons per se, but they got cosplay involved. So you got Insomnia. I think that's held. Is that once a year or twice a year?
Twice a year.
Oh Jesus!
So it's one in
And
London and one in Birmingham, I believe.
it's bank holiday weekends basically because they
Yeah.
have extended
Yeah.
bank holidays.
Oh jeez. Anyway, so you got Insomnia, and then you got EGX, which is that's definitely once a year. They do have EGX Res, but I don't know if that's still a thing. I could be wrong, so correct me in the comments if that's a real. I've mentioned all of these, and these are just the major ones. And what I just it's right. Let's go count them. Right, so you got 3 for MCM, 4 for MegaCon, London, Birmingham, Manchester, Dublin. Oh, Scotland. So that's 5, isn't it? London, Birmingham, Manchester, Dublin, Scotland. Do they do a Scotland one, or have I invented that one?
No idea.
Okay, let's do the 4 that I at least definitely know. So it's 4, so that's 7. Showmasters, I said 3, so 10. An extra 3, 13. 2 for Wales Comic Con's 15. They got the 9 from the Monopoly event. Or did I get up to 13? 22. Then you got 2 anime cons, which is 24. Insomnia 26. And then EGX 27. You've got 27 events that I swear I see the same faces at all of them all talk about it. And it just drives me up the wall how these people can go to it. I'm going, how you got the money, the funds to do that? And it's just...
I was looking at the small cons as well, though, because I looked on
Yeah, go.
fan cons, and I just had a quick look to see how many fan cons in the UK and Ireland were listed for 2023, and there was 99.
My God.
And then you're not going to go to all those ones as well. And I tell you something, another one to add to the list, but I'm not going to list them all. It's like you got specialist events such as CooperCon that I know that Libra goes to. So do you want to explain what CooperCon is?
So CooperCon is a Final Fantasy convention, and it ironically draws a lot of people from a lot of countries over. I think the last event, we had like 32 other countries be there, like people from other countries. So it's not exactly a UK based one, because like people will travel to Canada, America for it. So
yeah, and then every so often you get like Star Trek that comes in, Star Wars, things like that. So it's just so many. So I think
also
go on.
it's also good for people that have similar interests, because like at a major con you kind of have the meetups and that's it, and then everyone just kind of disperses. Whereas with the smaller cons, you then, like, if they have an evening event, you can then party with those people you've met that day, and then make friends with them, and it just continues on, because then you'll see them at another convention, and then the friend circle kind of gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah, so this is why I've stopped really going to any of the things like MCMs and megacons and stuff like that, because I'd much rather go to a smaller event which was specifically around the fandom that I'm interested in, rather than just just some big trade hall con like an MCM or a megacon or something like that.
That's really interesting, because I don't know if
MCM has become a rat race.
I think it always has been, to be honest.
I think it's got worse now.
Everybody goes because it's the big con, one in London.
Yeah,
so it's a place, everybody takes their best cosplay to, or, wants to
Yeah.
see people they have not seen for ages. But,
I think
there's lots of...
I think it has got worse since obviously it's changed hands. I think it's got a lot worse. Like, they're very much over capacity in a lot of it, and you're like, Saturday, don't bother walking in MCM because there's no point. And then you wonder why everyone's outside and not inside the trade halls. Like, you'll never see cosplayers with their really cool, like, amazing cosplays that they've worked so hard on inside a con hall, because I guarantee you someone will step on it and rip it, and then that person will be like, well, you just stood on it. And he goes, well, why are you wearing such a big, bulky cosplay? It's Saturday. It's the day that you show off your best cosplay.
Yeah, but then in the small events, you go to, there's so many specialist ones. You're talking about CooperCon before, but there's also, of course, Asylum, which has been going on for quite a few years now, up in, I think it's in Lincoln, isn't it, for the steampunk people. I think is there a furry con as well? That seems to ring a bell. There's the Irish Discworld Convention, which obviously is the Terry Pratchett one. There's Furcation, that's it, which I think is obviously a specialist towards the furries. There's Tokonatsu, which is an anime con, but it's camping. So it's at an old scout site, I think, if I remember correctly. But so, there's lots and lots of other specialist cons for, if you're interested in a particular fandom. You don't have to go to one of these, just one of these big ones. But like I said, there's just so many events. You have to pick and choose what you want to go for. Some people want to go to the biggest con with the most people attending to show off their bestest and brightest cosplay and be in the competition or what have you. But other times you just want to go to the small little local event that's in the fandom that you're most interested in. It's not the same. They're different sorts of events. I wouldn't classify them as being anywhere, anything like each other.
No, I do get that, and it's. I mean, one of the benefits of having so many events out in the wild. I say in the wild, you know what I mean? Is that there is at least there's nice variety, like the ones I've mentioned. So NCM, I think a lot of people would akin that to both, like main media stroke anime stuff. Okay, Showmasters is always about the classics and the now TV stars, movie stars, mainly of the yesteryears, but they do bring some present ones as well. Wales Comic Con, I'm always amazed how they get like the big stars to somewhere like Wrexham. I always imagine their agents telling them, so we'd like to, some Comic Con has invite you to the UK. Oh, where is it? Is it somewhere like London, Manchester, or Birmingham maybe? Or was it Scotland, the beautiful picturesque of Scotland? It's Wales. It's Wrexham. Oh, I know Royal Reynolds has bought a football club there. Must be good. And I don't know how they imagine. Like, I have been to Wrexham before. I like Wrexham. Don't get me wrong, but I just know how small it is. Even though is Wrexham as a city? Wrexham is a city, I think. But yeah, I'm amazed how well they book their stars for Wales Comic Con and or Telford even as well. Monopoly events, I'm not too sure about, but I think they also get like the big movie and TV stars from what I've seen from their signage, the promotional stuff that they have out there. Anime Con.
I just thought I'd look up Wrexham to see if if it was a city or just a town.
Oh yes.
And of course, you search Google for Wrexham now, and it doesn't take you to the city or town at all. It just takes you to stories about the football club and Ryan Reynolds and everything else. I've scrolled all the way down to the bottom of the first page, and it's all about the football club. There's nothing about the town at all.
We'll just ask Google. Is it? Hang on. Let's see if I can do this. Hey Google, is Wrexham a city?
According to Wikipedia, Wrexham is a city and the administrative centre of Wrexham County Borough in Wales.
There you go.
It is located between the Welsh Mountains.
Okay, Google, stop.
Valley, near the border with Cheshire in England.
Oh God, it won't stop.
It's going to go on forever.
It could have gone on forever. So we now know the answer is it is the city. So where was I going to? Anime Con UK. I hope we all know that's an anime-based event and things like that. So it's nice to have those events. And then like Libra, it's, you've got those specialist ones. So I'll start with Libra on this one. What is for you the main... Well, first of all, do you go to all of these events? And if you do or you don't, how do you like pick and choose which ones you go to?
So, CooperCon is for Final Fantasy. And also I stream it, so it's easier for me to just, do what I do best and enjoy Final Fantasy, talk to other people, and get some really different insights from it. MCM I go because a lot of my friends are kind of scattered up and down the country, so it's our go-to meetup place. I cried at the ticket price, but it's the one weekend where we can all get together without having to work out holidays. Insomnia I go because obviously it's gaming, so that's my other option because I still enter tournaments, so that for me that's where I'd want to go. But a lot of the tournaments don't run like they used to, so it's now having to pick and choose like what really is what I want. Like, do I want to show my cosplay off? Do I want to show off my gaming skills, or do I want to do both? And also money, who it's run by, and the general vibe, because I found that MegaCon is very TikTok based, and I'm not a fan of that. And like the creator stuff, if you don't have a massive TikTok like following, you're not gonna get creator pass. And the amount of times I've tried, and it's just like it's not gonna happen. And I think that's what's starting to put a lot of people off of MCM. Is it's not the creators that like cosplayers, all that kind of stuff. It's TikTok stars, and you're like, I don't want to be interviewed like, oh, who are you cosplaying? And then they ask some really horrible questions, and you're like, no.
That's a fair comment. No, I understand that. I don't know how I feel about the increase in TikTok influencers, shall we say? Because in my brain, like this year it's TikTok. 2-3 years ago it was Instagram. Before that it was Facebook, and before that it was nothing. I think these type of things come in cycles, and a new thing will always come every so often. So, people will start moaning, oh, I'm not a TikTok star, or I haven't got this, and I haven't got that for TikTok. Like, trust me, in 2-3 years' time, some other platform will appear, which everyone will then go, oh man, all the TikToks are being pushed out to one side, and this new platform has come. So, it's kind of swings.
It's a cycle.
Yeah, it's kind of like swings and roundabouts type of thing. But I mean, it's interesting you talk about like meeting up with all your friends, because I've always moaned and argued that if you're just going to Comic-Con to meet with your friends, why don't you just organise, just say, hey, we can still go on this date but not go to Comic-Con, can we just go to a park maybe? Or if you still want to go to Comic-Con, why don't we just all meet up somewhere and just get together? But you made a good point about, because it's already been organised, people just go to that. Whereas if you're trying to organise something, you're trying to like organise, it's like herding cats. It's like saying, right, can we do this date? No, you can't. Right, okay, how about this date? No, okay, cool, we can do this day. Oh shit, I can't now do this day. I get that now. I get it, but I also don't get it, because I always think true will of way, you'll find a way to get everyone together, and you're never going to get everyone there. In my head, I think. I don't know. Am I just being too?
I've managed to, for the last 3 years, get all of like my friend group, and that's from people abroad as well, to go to Comic-Con. Yeah, honestly, it's because everyone's like, oh, I've know the dates, I can book them off on holiday, and then it's like, oh, are you going? And then it's like a group chat starts forming. So then everyone's aware of it, and then be like, well, I'm staying in this hotel, I'm staying in that hotel, and then occasionally you'll have people all in the same hotel, and they'll just meet up and just chill. And that's kind of the reason how the Novotel has become the meeting point for everyone, because the Fox has just gone downhill.
Shh! Don't tell people about the Novotel. Shh!
It's too late. Everyone knows about it.
I know, that might be my fault. I don't know. Yeah, and
not really. I think people used to go to the Novotel years ago.
Oh, did they? Oh, good, because I was just like clutching at straws, like, oh, can I be the problem? Can I be the one that caused all the issues? No.
No, I think it was as soon as the Fox had their issues and they'd never really dealt with it, and went, oh, we'll just ticket it instead. It didn't solve a problem. It just made the whole entire situation 100 times worse.
Yeah, I've grown to hate the Fox so much, and although the Novotel is still as bad about trying to get a drink at the bar, at least I don't feel like I'm fighting a very, how do I put this politely, a DJ who thinks they're that good, a DJ who plays probably the same set list every year, a DJ who plays music so loud I can't even hear myself think, I can't talk to the person next to me. What's the point? I'm not there to go and dance. That's just me. I know I'm a grumpy old man. Shut the fuck up. I don't care. Anyway, as I was saying, as someone else was saying, it's quite interesting how you pick and choose your events. Kev, what about you? How do you? Because yours is different.
Well, it is, but I've also changed over the years as well. Just to take, oh god, this shows really how old I am. Pre-MCM, when MCM didn't exist, we did have lots of meetups around the country. Where we'd organise them on a forum. And say, right, because there's going to be, we'd organise sort of 6 meetups, so one every of a month, basically, in a different part of the country, and then about 30 or 40 of you would all meet up in that town on that weekend for a meetup or something. So that used to happen, but then when MCM came along. And originally it was just London, and then it started expanding. Sort of nixed that, really. I mean, it was a lot easier just to say, well, everybody's going to MCM anyway. We'll just see them there. So I think it's just made things so that it was, it just became easier just to say, well, we're all going there anyway, so we don't need to organise anything. We'll just see you there. But I've changed as well. So if I look back at what I was doing pre-pandemic, then I don't live in London. I don't live anywhere near London. For me, it was cheaper to go to Japan Expo in Paris than it was to go to MCM in London. So it made more sense for me to jump on a plane, go to Japan Expo, which is a much bigger event than MCM ever has been, and go there for the weekend than it was to come down to London. So I haven't been to MCM London in absolutely ages. I still do some other events, more specialist events rather than Comic Cons itself. So I, as we were talking about before we started recording, I was involved. Sorry about the sirens outside, by the way. I don't know if you can pick those.
We did pick that up. I was just going to say, you okay? Do you need a duck for cover?
Well, it's typical, isn't it? If it's not sirens outside, it's usually planes coming in because I'm quite close to the airport. But anyway, as I was saying, I've I can't remember what I was saying now. What was I talking about? The sort of events I go to. So so I've been to more because I'm a cosplay photographer more than anything else. So even though I do have interests in fandom in various different areas, I'm mainly going along to events to see the cosplays and take some photos. So for those reasons, I've been going to more along to things like SecretCon or with yourself to VeeamCon over in the Netherlands, because what we've been talking about so far has been very UK centric.
Yes,
but cons, you can go to a lot of cons which are just as easy or cheap to get. Well, it depends where you live. If you're living in London and it's just a case of dropping on the tube to pop across to Excel, that's one thing. But for those of us that live, the other end of the country, that's bloody expensive. It's a lot cheaper to go and see a con in another country than it is to go to London, go to MCM. Forget just for ticket price and the hotel price. It's just for transport costs to get there. So this year, I've not actually done any cons yet. I was due to go to Minami, the anime con in Southampton, but I ended up in Poland, so I wasn't there.
What?
Oh yeah, I've just come back from Krakow. But I did have a ticket to go to Minami in Southampton. But it actually ended up cheaper to go to Krakow and stay there for a week than it was to go to Minamicon for a weekend in Southampton. But there you go. That's just a separate story.
So how did you somehow decide to go to Poland instead of Namicon? Sounds like it was by accident. Like, somehow I end up in Poland. Oh well, might as well stay here.
To be honest, when I bought the ticket for Minamicon, the Minamicon ticket itself wasn't too expensive. But then when I started looking at the hotel costs and the transport costs, it was being held in hotels by the port where all the big cruise ships go from. And the costs for that weekend were absolutely extortionate. And it was something like 120, 130 quid on the train to get down there as well. So I thought, bugger this, it would be nice to see people I haven't seen for ages. I spent a couple of days in a hotel in Southampton, but I could spend a week in Poland with cheap beer and vodka for a week instead. And guess which one I chose in the end?
Yes, I can tell. Yes. Yeah, well, glad you had a good time there.
But like I said, and we've got VeeamCon coming up in August.
Yes.
Now, which is once again, a different sort of event. It's not like an MCM or a MegaCon. It's not a con. It calls itself a con, but it's just basically a bunch of cosplayers getting together to drink a bit, eat a bit, play around in a pool, and have pictures.
Yes, no, absolutely, 100%.
So there's different events for different sorts of things, and I'm not really. I'm not really interested in the big trade hall cons anymore.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I mean,
And if I was going to do it, then I'd do a bigger one. So I'd go to Japan Expo.
yeah, no, I totally get that. I think again, I've started to say this a lot now in my podcast, and I'm sorry that you've heard it once, you've heard it many times. Now, I go to the big ones like MCM London. I'll still keep going to those events because I'd rather see everyone in one spot at the same time I can. I know this contradicts what I've said earlier, but hear me out. Like I said, this thought really occurred to me at MegaCon Live London, where it was so small. You could do that event in half a day, not a day, half a day. And I was like, my brain was bored. I was like, going, what do I do now? I wasn't there really to take photos that weekend either. So it's like I don't know what to do with my time and all that. So I was like, I'm glad there's events like MCM that exist where everyone does congregate to one spot, and I can get my fill of all the cosplayers, the plan shoots and all that, and I don't have to worry about my brain going, well, if this is it, man, you're going to be bored for the rest of the day, because I want to maximize my time and my money. If I did buy tickets, I will admit.
I was going to say that, if you were having, if say MCM London was, if you weren't living in London and had, sort of free accommodation and just cheap travel to get there, and you didn't have to buy a bloody expensive ticket to actually go to it, you'd still go to it.
I know that's the tough one. I think I know I'm very lucky and fortunate to go to an event where something's paid for me. So I'm now living in London, but I used to drive into London. I sometimes crash at my sister's place at the time, so accommodation was free then. I think everyone knows I get a press pass, so it's not a secret really. So
Didn't you get rejected for a creator pass?
Yes, I did. I was trying. I think because since this year I've been declined so many times from different organisers, I was like, I'm going to maximise my chances on both of going through the channels of both Creator Pass and Press Pass. So if one failed, the other one might get through. But if they both fail, then at least I've tried. Because I think in the past I've done one, and I've always been worried. Oh crikey! If I got told no for one, we'll have time to apply for the other one. And so a lot of people have said, "Oh, don't bother." That a lot of people have already been assigned a creator pass, so maybe their allocation's already gone. I'm like, oh, okay then. So yes, I got declined for creator pass, but I got through with the press pass. Do
you see yourself more as a creator or a press person?
If I'm honest, I see myself more of a creator than a press person, because I don't think I'm a publication like the BBC, the newspapers, ITV, Sky News, those type of. That's not where my brain is. My brain is more creating rather than publishing. But
so your content creator is how you see yourself.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
but is that how they differentiate it on within MCM? Is it? Because I don't know what their criteria are.
Well, no, they don't. This is the problem. Yeah, this is a whole different podcast, which I think I've recorded before. It's a shame they don't tell you the criteria for real, what they're looking for. Because if they just said, oh, by the way, we're looking for those who have over 10,000 likes or specific videos that they say you must upload a video twice a day, then at least people can go, oh, I only do once a week, I won't bother. Or I only have 100 followers, or oh, I won't bother. There seems like a lot of people do potluck just to see, and then they get upset that either they got declined and someone else did, and they may have similar attributes and metrics and all that, and they just don't understand why one did, one didn't. And there are some animosity behind it. But anyway, as I said, that's a whole different podcast. Might have to revisit that one another day.
Yeah, I mean, I bought tickets anyway, but I just decided to shoot it and be see if I could get it. And I was like, I know full well I'm not going to get it, but I feel like they need to put set guidelines, especially I think it's Insomnia or EGX. They actually give you proper guidelines. If you don't have this, you don't have that. Or if you are a streamer and you don't stream for X exact days, doesn't matter what content you stream, as long as you stream those hours, they don't give a shit. And it's I think you have to have I think it's 100 followers as a minimum.
But most people have and as I say, anyway, that's a whole different podcast.
But people could have 100 followers and then just not stream. and they'll never get it. But it's like a bare minimum to have 100, because it's actually harder to get 100 on Twitch than it is than you think.
Yeah. Oh no, I totally understand that. I totally get that. Yeah.
I think I've got 7.
I've got 0 on my Twitch, but to be fair, I've only got it. I don't use it. If that makes sense. Yeah. No, I mean, I think, as I said, I know a few people who seem to go to a lot of these events, and like, I wonder. I probably should have had these people on the podcast rather than you guys. Don't know disrespect. I'm literally thinking out loud. But it's like, I was saying this in the green room. I did not get FOMO for not going to MegaCon Live Birmingham. And I've been to the first 2 editions, and I decided not to go to the third one, and I mentioned it in the last podcast. But I forgot to mention that I didn't get FOMO from it, and I was really weird about that. So I say podcast, it's an Instagram Live. I just realised that. But anyway, but there's other events. Like there was one year, it was 2022. I couldn't go to MCM October because it clashed with work. I went to Tallahassee instead. I did get FOMO, but not like, I didn't get it the whole time. Like Tallahassee really put on a good show for me, but I did feel a bit of FOMO knowing that, oh, I'm in the States. I wish I was actually in London with my friends taking photos and things like that. So I do get quite a bit of FOMO from it. Like Kev will attest to this. Like, even though VinCon has only happened 4 times now, it's 4th edition. It was last year, was it, or 5th edition?
Remember.
But let's 4th or 5th edition.
Yeah.
There was one year I made sure I tried to go. It's a 3-day event. I was only there for a day and a half, and I left. And like Kevin will attest to this. I was like, I tried to maximize as much time I could at VinCon before I flew back to the UK. And yeah, that killed me for missing like part of that. And I even got FOMO even though I was there. So I'll start with Libra again. Do you get FOMO when you like see other people going to these type of events that you've not gone to, or you have been to and then but couldn't go for what? Or do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you see so many people who go to so many different events.
The only one that I feel like you'd get feel like I miss is CupoCon because of the guests. That's mainly the reason. But anything like MCM, I just don't care, because I'm like, okay, cool, it's the same stuff, and it's like there's no variety anymore. I feel like with MCM, like the guests, like they have them at 3-4 shows. It's rather boring when it gets to it. It's not like
It's
where
the same guests at every convention
it's like,
all the time, isn't it?
and also they've lost like Square, Nintendo, Sega. They've lost all of them. So like Tekken, they only turned up to run a tournament. They didn't run it for anything else, and they don't do that anymore because there's no variety. Like, if you want to enter that tournament, you have to have a ticket, and the people at Tech, like Namco Bandai, went, nah, we're not having this. We'll just do them online, or we'll place them somewhere where you can just walk through the door, like the Razor store. Side quest, you can just walk through the door and just enter, and that, I think that's why a lot of companies just went, now we can get more money elsewhere, and that's why a lot of companies dropped, I feel. So it feels really stale with what's available. Like, I get Artist Alley is different, but then they're having issues. Like, people that probably normally go don't get in anymore, or like companies that should really be there don't get a chance, and it's just stale. So I don't feel FOMO anymore. I used to, and then I'm like, it's the same stuff over and over again.
Fascinating answer. Fascinating. Kev, you said that you've dropped London and all that. Do you miss it, or again, is it because you've gone so many times you just gone, eh?
It's for cost more than anything else, and but yes, when I see yourself and other people posting from it, of course I'm thinking, oh, it would have been nice to go, wouldn't it? But then I'm thinking, nah, can't be asked. So well, so I look at let's talk rather than London, because that one's could be a cost one more than anything else. But look at say MegaCon in Manchester, because Manchester is my sort of local city. and I've been to the MegaCons when they've been held there. But I went in last time and had a look around, and then just went to meet one of my mates in a pub for pub lunch, which I could have done any weekend. And then I went back to the con later on in the afternoon to see the cosplay competition. So there's no guests. I can't remember the last time there's been a guest at a MegaCon or an MCM that I've wanted to see.
Yeah.
Some other conventions have better guests,
Mm.
but they're not local to me, and it's not worth me going all the way to where they are to see them.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that.
Yeah. It sounds like it's very different from each person. What attracts to certain things, like
Well, it is. That's why
Yeah.
these events put so many different things on, isn't it? They'll have
Yeah.
some guests. They'll have an artist alley. They'll have a trade hall. They'll have a cosplay competition because they're trying to attract as many people as they can to their event. So the bigger the event is, in theory, the more different sorts of things they'll lay on to try and attract more people to pay and attend, basically.
Yeah.
Whereas if we're talking about the small events again, the ones I do still like to go to, there tend to be more specialised for a particular fandom. But they're also, a lot of them are not profits. They're non-profit organisations. So everything which they're charging is to, run back into the event to, make it a fun event for everybody going along to it. So, which it is a different sort of thing. Your megacons,
CubeCon's the same. It's non-profit.
yeah,
But
exactly.
also, it's like the price as well. Like, how much is a ticket for MCM? What, 120?
Well, I'll say 100.
Okay, 100 without tax, and then you're looking at a hotel. What's 600 to 900? Say for the weekend. Like, I went to CubeCon. My ticket cost me 80 quid. My hotel cost me 250. And I drove up, so it was even cheaper. So realistically, over my weekend was 500 quid. For MCM, I'm looking at $1,000 easy, and it's just not viable because people just can't do
VeeCon,
it.
it's €200 for the weekend, including your accommodation for 4 people.
Yeah, which it's
So
just
it's
nuts.
€200 per person, but 4 people sharing. That is, yeah.
I'm on the MCM website trying to buy a ticket, and it's £97 with a £2 service fee. The priority weekend ticket's £95. You can get a QR code, so you don't have to get your ticket sent to you or not. So if you want it sent to you, it's an extra £5 on top.
Yeah.
So it's still £100. Hang on, let me go to checkout, see if it does add taxes on top. Oh my god, I can't be bothered. But yeah, it's at least £97. It's at least £97. No, I get the cost. It's definitely a thing. I think, like I said, I've always said, even though I've not gone through with it just yet. So if I ever get refused a press creator pass, I won't go to MCM London. I think there will be a very, very, very small, big part of me. I know I just said small, big part, but there's a small part of me, but really would want to still go and would pay that money. Like I actually paid tickets when things were opening up just after the pandemic, and I said, look, everyone lost money. No one made money for at least a year and a half. I will buy tickets. Was then given a press pass, and then I just gave away my tickets because I knew everyone lost money. It was hard to either earn money or to or people didn't spend too much. Spent money on else things, just to keep going. Some people took a pay cut and things like that. That's why when I had my tickets, I'll just give it away because I thought it'd be a nice thing to do for some friends.
But I also think another thing is like the ticket itself. You don't get any extras. It's just a ticket. Whereas if you go to these smaller events, you get loot and you get other stuff. Like I went to CubeCon, so you got if you got Ultimate, which is the top tier ticket, you got so much loot that would have probably have cost them at least 100 quid, 150 quid, easy. So, and I was like,
well, I was going to say that you've just triggered a thought in my head. You go ahead.
I thought I'd just have a quick look and see Japan Expo, similar to London MCM, but considerably bigger. So I thought I'd see how much they're charging for their 4-day pass, because they're a 4-day event nowadays. A 4-day pass to Japan Expo is €81.
So that's about 80.
So that's still, and MCM's still a 3-day event.
Yes.
So it's considerably cheaper to go to Japan Expo in Paris still than it is to go to London MCM, just for the ticket price.
Mm,
And
yeah.
the flights are cheaper than the train,
Yep.
and the accommodation's cheaper as well.
Yeah.
And it's a much bigger event.
I think also what other people are starting to do now is starting to venture out into other places because they're seeing it's cheaper now. Like I still want to try Japan Expo, but it's just finding the group to go with. And that's all it is.
Yeah.
I was just looking up to see if, because I swear Showmaster used to do this fast pass kind of ticket. Oh, hang on. I think I've just spotted it. Hang on. So their winter London Film and Comic Con in November time. Let's see it. I saw £211. I'm trying to find that ticket costs. No, come on, you stop lying to me. I swear they do have a ticket. Oh, here's a go. The Gold Pass. That's it. So this gives you priority at the door. Or for there's a so you get 2 diamond passes, talk of your choice, 2 autograph vouchers, things like that. So it kind of skips you the lines. And I don't know if I've known anyone who's bought one of those. I don't know if I would have spent £211 for that to get 2 autographs. I could skip the line, and also it's already been paid for per se, and things like that. I don't know. Because the diamond pass, they did say up to a value of £30 per pass. So I'm assuming the autograph pass may be on a similar terms and conditions, things like that. But yeah, thing is, I remember years ago when I was like taking my hobby a little bit more seriously by saying I can't go to all these Showmaster events, I can't go to all these MCM events. I get more enjoyment at MCM. I dropped Showmasters. I'm considering the same thing about MegaCon live events. Like, as a photographer, I don't know if I will go to all of them. As a punter, I might go to the Manchester one because I've heard that is the best of all the MegaCon lives. So I'd like to give that a try. And I keep saying I was going to, but I keep forgetting to go and buy a ticket.
Yeah, well, you can get a cheap accommodation to come up here. As well.
Oh, do I?
But we'll have other people staying, so we'll just be a bit crammed in like sardines.
That's all right. I'll probably just go up and down in a day anyway. And like these smaller events, again, it's like my brain. I can't do, shall we say, the independent small ones because I feel like I'll do it in a day and I'll just walk away going, I was bored, type of thing. So that's kind of the reason why I don't go to the smaller ones. And that's why sometimes like I have been before the pandemic, especially. I ventured out into Europe, so I used to go to Stuttgart Comic Con. That's a very similar MCM-esque vibe event, and I feel like, oh wow, all right, I can probably do it in a day, but I see so many cosplayers there. And I'm like, oh, that's really nice. So if you want your vibe of that, it's there. Tickets were, as I can remember, cheap. Can't remember how much cheap. No, wait. Oh no, I can't say how cheap they are because I got a press pass on them as well.
Oh,
Of course you do.
of course.
But yeah, I know. But I mean, okay, so let's go back to the ultimate because we're getting close to the end of this podcast, and I feel like we should come to the. I didn't really ask many questions, but we just talked about these events and things like that. But I'll start with Libra. Is there at the moment today too many Comic Cons for people to go to or pick from? Is a greater choice a better thing or not?
I think there's a greater choice in the smaller cons for like niches that people want, but I feel like there is too many, especially if you're like someone who streams and all that kind of stuff. Like if you want to go to Insomnia, EGX, like you've got to spend a lot of money, and some people just don't have it. So you've got to be really picky. But then some people I know go, "Oh, I didn't go to Insomnia," and they had FOMO from it, and I'm like, "But why? Like, what was there that was so special?" For me, I don't really see the issue of picking a small few cons a year than having too many. Like, there's too many, I feel now. Yeah, because you can't go to everyone.
It's really interesting. You do get FOMO. There is too many. I'm assuming you do what most people do. You just cut your cloth accordingly and make sure you go to the cons you want to go to. You spend the right amount of money, and if you can't afford it, you just don't go.
Yeah, pretty much. That is the way to go these days.
But
And if you can't afford them, I always look to see about elsewhere. Like, Japan Expo, VNCon. Like, I'm looking this year, potential next year, to branch out to it because I want to try it and travel more out of just the UK for cons like that.
Oh, I would definitely recommend VNCon because it doesn't feel like a con. It feels like a holiday with cosplay involved. So
my kind of holiday.
I should mention I won't be going next year. So
what?
it's a big birthday for me that weekend next year. So
21 again?
Well, yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. So unfortunately, this VinCon,
No.
I'm going to be skipping it next year. But
No, that's fine. Totally understand that. That's fine. Yeah. Have you ever done an event where you've gone, I shouldn't have gone. I'm my money's tight and things like that?
Yeah, that was an October MCM. I went to Japan and then went to MCM going, I have £300 to my name. This is a really good idea.
So even though you just gave the advice, you cut your cough accordingly, you still go, ah.
This was before I was like a bit more frugal with my money.
Yeah.
But now I'm very frugal with my money. Like, if I can't afford to go, like if I go on holiday and like the convention is the week after, I just won't go.
Yeah.
Like, there's some stuff I'm just like, no, don't do it. Or,
no, that's fine. Yeah. No, I was just I'm thinking about the point in my life now where I'm now really thinking more about, am I going as a photographer or am I going as a con goer? If I'm going as a con goer, do I really want to go? That's how my mindset is at the moment. So things like that. Kev, I've got to.
Photographer though.
Pardon?
But you're a photographer. I wouldn't
Yeah,
say you're a con goer.
You didn't go to Anime Con as a photographer, did you?
I did actually.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
I thought you went just to go by and. I saw you running around doing your
no,
stream.
Yes, I was there. I can't quite mention how I got there, but I got there, and
Right.
yeah. Oh god, dig hole it.
Okay.
But no, I did mine. I was trying to. I still needed a review of that event. I feel like I still got time. I don't know why. What I was going to say. Yeah, but remember, I treat my photography as still a hobby. It's not my full-time job. So I get no money out of it. It's not like I'm getting cross-trade from it where people are booking me to do shoots on location or in the studio. So why should I bust my ass to be a photographer at every event when I'm going, do you know what? I'm gonna look after myself and just go, I'm just going to pick the events where I feel like it, maximize my time and my effort, MTM London, and the rest I'll just pick and choose. Sorry. So yeah. Actually, by the time this goes out, I think I'll put an article and maybe a TikTok video and an Instagram video to say that I've got a press pass for MCM London. Sorry, spoilers if you didn't pick it up earlier in the podcast, but you can book me April 22nd, 6 p.m. Just to say.
Can I book
Anyway,
my stuff early?
So what?
Can I book my stuff early?
No. Shut up. What was I saying? No, Kev. I was going to say, it's quite interesting because some of the events I've seen you at, you've not been in the venue, you've just sat outside.
Well, now you're talking about Megacon Birmingham, aren't you?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, well, that one I was just a driver to drive people there. I wasn't really
fair
there.
enough.
So I had to walk around,
Yeah.
but I was basically just a chauffeur. So for people working at the event. So that's slightly different, but it was okay. I just had to wander around and then sat outside in the sun chatting with people. So I wasn't there taking pictures or anything. I was just, and I needed because I get tired now, with exerting and things. So because I'd driven all the way there, I couldn't really do much during the day when I was there because I needed to regenerate to be able to drive them home again. So that's why I wasn't doing any photography or anything at the time. I was just resting basically between driving down and driving back. So, but yeah.
When you say you regenerate, I didn't realise you were a Time Lord.
No, but my exhaustion gets pretty bad, so I have to rest and so get some energy back.
Dude, if you don't go with my joke sounds bad, okay?
Your jokes are bad. Sorry.
That is very true, very true. But but are you selective to the events you go to similar to me and Libra, or different?
It's changed. But I definitely wish I was at events I miss. I do miss going to MCM, and I always, whenever MCM weekend's on, I always follow everybody on Facebook and Instagram to see what everybody's posting and how the event was and what all the cosplayers are wearing. So yeah, I definitely miss it. But there's two things. I don't miss the cost, and I know that nowadays, post pandemic, I just don't have the energy anymore to do too much. So that's why when I do things like VinCon, I very, very, very much sort out when am I shooting, when am I resting, and make sure that I do take proper breaks, which some other photographers in this podcast don't.
Yeah, Libra. God's sake, Libra. God, you can't even sort your own health
burn themselves out completely.
I'm sorry, I decided to hit the gym and eat a bit healthier.
just like Eddie isn't.
Whoa! Shots fired! I take an hour break when I'm at MCM London, so it's definitely scheduled into my calendar. All right.
I'm sure it's scheduled into your calendar, but I'm not sure.
Wow.
I do. Oh my goodness me!
One bit of a break, imagine.
Jeez, oh God, Jesus Christ! Look, I'd rather keep busy and just keep going to the end of the day rather than keep stop starting because that really annoys me and things like that. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like we're talking about VinCon being a bit of a holiday. Yeah, I'm sure it's not that much of a holiday for yourself. Okay, you stop for the beer tasting, but apart from that, you do seem to be shooting all day and all evening.
No, but I treat. Okay, I'm trying to end this podcast, but I treat VinCon very differently because VinCon for me acts like a location shoot less than a Comic-Con.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So therefore,
Grey Walls, Eddie.
Fuck's sake, no. Why does everyone keep bringing up the Grey Walls? Jesus Christ. What was I going to say? Comic-Con, because there's so many people, you have to fight the crowds and all that, and I do love seeing lots of people there, so don't get me wrong when I mention that. But VinCon, because it's still a very small event, and the number of people is growing and all that, you can just find so many pockets of space to take photos in at the whole venue or inside the pavilion area and things like that. They've got a waterfall area, things like that. Yeah, it's really good. I treat VinCon more of a location shoot where I feel like I do take my time in I've book slots than I do at MCM. Because to be fair, I get more booked up at MCM. They go in there like in about a day. VinCon, I've always got spare slots. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And I don't book that many slots for VinCon compared to MCM London, relatively. So, yeah.
Yeah, but you still shoot even if you haven't got slots. Anyway, sorry. I don't think the slots got anything to do with it.
I know. But thanks for calling me out, though. Thanks for calling me out. Oh man!
I think you just try finding excuses now. Say,
I'm not finding excuses. I'm telling the truth.
I'm really having a break. I only have certain slots. Yeah, you only have certain slots, and then you'll be running around to see anybody else you can find.
I'm going to take a look now at my diary. Hang on, let me just check something. Hang on. No. Oh, here we go. Yeah, hang on. So Friday, I'm doing nothing in the morning, so I'm only shooting from 2 p.m. onwards, and then I have an hour and a half lunch break, but sometimes I do give up half an hour. Shush. And I think I'll do the same for the Sunday. So, yeah.
It's got completely off topic, hasn't it?
Yeah,
it really has.
Yeah, it really have. Oh, jeez. Anyway.
Just another podcast.
Yep. I do worry, because this is the reason why I was thinking about it the other day, about all these number of... I've gone back to topic now. The number of Comic-Cons, I just don't think it's sustainable with all these events. Like I said earlier, Monopoly event has literally 9, which is more or less one a month, or 3/4 of... No, is it 1 1/4 a month? And it's just... I don't know if that's sustainable or not. I think MCM stripping back to like 2 or 3 a year actually is probably a good idea for them. I actually like that they're stepping back a little bit, because... Yeah. I do like that some are expanding, some are shrinking, but I think the number of organisations, I just think there's just too many. There's just
I think what it is hard for is if there's events on every weekend or
yeah.
multiple events on a weekend, then if you're going along because you want to see stalls and traders and people like that, then there's only a limited number of them.
Oh, definitely.
Especially the fan traders. They can't go to everything. They don't have the time and
No,
the
absolutely. And
resources to do that many events. So that's why you'll start, you are start seeing, some events having, less of an emphasis perhaps on how many traders they got in a trade hall. Because the traders having to pick and choose which events they're going to,
absolutely.
more so probably than the attendees, themselves.
Yeah.
So you might find people going to a particular event because there's particular traders they want to go and see.
Yeah, because I'm starting to see a lot of now traders pop on my TikToks, and they are saying that exact same thing. I've got to mention that early in the podcast that there's one I follow. I swear I'm mispronouncing his name. It was Jarlis Bones, and he's really being very honest and upfront about what the events he's going to, how much he's making when he's not making. It's how hard it is to be, working as a trader at these Comic Cons. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's good that there is more opportunities, but because there's more opportunity, there's less money to go spending because it feels like cosplayers or congoers are spending all the money to get to these places and the tickets and food. There's not really much money to actually spend inside the halls at the traders and things like that, especially if it's spread amongst all the other ones, if everyone's going to order them at once. So there isn't, it's hard because I'd like to see less. No, I do want to see less, if I'm honest, so that it makes it easier for people to go, where they can spend their money. But I do appreciate that people would like to have the multiple events with different themes and different styles, so that it's not all the same. Because if they're all cookie cutter Comic Cons, same for every event, what's the point? They all be the same. The other argument I forgot to mention is location for some areas. Like London and the South kind of get a lot. Midlands gets a fair few, but the more north you go, I feel like there's less and less of the major ones that are visiting their areas, type of thing. And
You don't. We've had film and Comic Cons in various cities up here in the past, and they've never done particularly well.
yes,
So,
yes, exactly.
but you've also got events trying to drive each other out of business. So every time you get MegaCon announcing dates in Manchester, then you know that Monopoly is going to be straight behind them announcing the same date also in Manchester. It's good for then people deciding which con they're going to go to, but it's been confusing. I know people in the past have been saying, "Oh, I'll see it at Comic Con. I'm going to get a ticket to see you there," and then finding that they've got a ticket for MegaCon and their mate got a ticket for Manchester Comic Con.
I want this to
same
be the
weekend.
last thing that we say, but I've had the exact same conversation because my friend was talking about Comic Con Wales when I was thinking she meant Wales Comic Con.
Yeah,
and it was had a whole conversation. We went round and
but they're not the same weekend, are
they're
they?
not the
Whereas,
same.
whereas the Manchester ones are the same weekend.
Yeah, because we're talking about two different guest lists, and we're going, what's going on? Anyway,
Yeah.
I feel like I need to draw a line under this because I just want to talk. I just want to talk about all these Comic Cons and things like that. Libra, before we do links and all that, where's your progress for Final Fantasy? How far you got?
I have just done the Shinra boss fight for the Mount Corel.
Fantastic, beautiful. So now,
the multitasking skills I've got.
Well, on that note, I'm going to end the podcast. Thank you very much for talking about this very, I would say, strange subject. I think we all knew the answer, but I just want to still talk about it and just think the larger implication of it. If people need to find you on the social medias, Libra, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at LibraLee7 and Twitch. I have to get my Twitch up. Jeez, I have to find my Twitch now. LibraLee7 and TikTok. Let me find it. It's Libra_Lee7.
Cool. Pack? Kevin. Pack. You just pack. Kevin, where can they find you on the social media?
I would say that probably the things we're talking about is right at the beginning of the podcast. Today, I'm going to say that you can join me and my 7 followers on Twitch at KevPackPhoto.
More importantly, have you updated your website yet? Because you keep coming on to this.
No, that's why I wasn't mentioning it. That's why I thought I messaged Twitch instead.
Oh, that's funny. That's tickled my tummy. Oh, man. Anyway, if you need to find me on the social medias, if you go to foodandcosplay.org/links, you'll find all my social media links, such as Instagram, Threads, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr. I'm sure there's more. If you go to foodandcosplay.org, generally you'll find cosplay photos and articles. If you do want to know more details about booking me for a photo shoot at NTM London, the article should have gone up by now, 1st of April. So yeah, go look that up. If you go to foodandcosplay.org/podcast, you'll find previously recorded podcasts with these two, with other subjects, with other guests. If you go to patreon.com/foodandcosplay, you'll find podcast extras that I've recorded with other guests. And I'm hoping we've got time to still do a podcast extra. Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll do a podcast. We'll probably talk about favourite cons. So I like to do favourite cons because
okay.
I think people might be surprised which one's my favourite one. But yeah, on that note, so that's thank you for joining me on the podcast. And if you're not gonna come over to the podcast, thank you very much for listening. And on that note, I'm going to say goodbye, and they're going to say goodbye. So bye, guys.
Bye.